Welcome! You're listening to Making Relationships Work. We're a company focused on women and their marriage. We lead and teach women just like you how to grow into and access, whenever you need to, your wise woman's self. The part of you who is deeply connected to your purpose, your innate wisdom, and your husband and family. We teach women in marriages how to rebuild trust and connection, to work through conflicts no matter how deep, no matter how painful, and to lead your marriage to a place where the two of you experience marriage mastery. This podcast is about learning the systems and techniques that truly work to reconnect you back into your marriage so that you can experience the freedom that comes with a masterful marriage. Since this podcast is totally free, if you're getting tons of value and you want to support us and make sure that you get more of this good stuff, subscribe below and rate and review our podcast today. Now, on to the show. Hey everybody, it's me, it's Meg. Welcome. We are doing our regular Facebook Live. It's Monday night. And you have all voted and spoken to me so clearly that what you want to talk about is trust in a marriage. And so we are going to talk trust in a marriage. Okay, so it's going to be good. So what I want you to know though is, as we wait for everybody to join in and for people to start telling me they can see me in the comments, leave me a comment, say hello, make sure I can see you, make sure you can hear me before we get going. I want you to know that 48 of you voted on this topic. We had a couple of hundred people vote in general, and 48 of you said, let's talk about trust. So we are going to talk about trust here today, and we are specifically going to talk about rebuilding trust in a marriage, because here's the thing. Trust is one of two key pillars in a marriage, and when it's working, the marriage feels amazing. The marriage feels like you can really rely on your person, that you're nourished and supported, and your space is held, and your husband is attuned to you and you to him. And it feels like ease. It feels like somebody who loves you is right beside you, who is attuned to you, and who you can flow through life with. And so that's what it feels like when trust is high. But let's talk about what it feels like when trust is low, because this is the really important part. Because the thing is that when trust is low, lots of things happen and none of them are very good. But when trust is low in a marriage, what that looks like is emotional distance. It looks like physical distance. It looks like people sleeping in separate bedrooms. It looks like parenting or kind of an autopilot running of the home. It looks like I don't want to say double negative. It looks like sadness, loneliness. It looks like upset. It looks like small things that add up. Small things that weren't such a big deal at the time, but when you string them all together, it feels terrible. And it feels like there's lots of them. And so your brain starts to notice all the ways that this person of yours, your beloved husband, has broken your trust or has broken your sense of security in a marriage. And so over time, we start to build a story about that. And so does your husband. And it becomes what I've heard other people talk about it as, like a stone in the shoe. And so that stone in the shoe idea is really, it's like sometimes you stand on it and it really hurts. And sometimes you can walk for kind of a few days without it getting underneath your foot. Yeah. And so it sort of sneaks up on you. And the stone in the shoe is not the thing that you can trust. All the time you're wondering, is this next step I'm taking going to be the one that hurts? Is this next step going to be the one that hurts? And like many of us, we don't always stop to go and find the shoe and pull out the stone. We just keep kind of walking with it. And that walking with it for a long period of time is where we see really crisis points happen in a marriage. Because I think I told you this in another Facebook Live, but it takes about 6 years for a couple to seek help, which means that the trust is almost non-existent. They have trust in probably running a household or taking care of their children or parents if they need to. They have trust kind of broadly, but not intimately. And this is because they've been walking with a stone in their shoe for 6 years, not knowing how to get it out, not wanting to really look at it, because every time the two of them try to get the stone out, it feels like it's impossible. And maybe there's a little kind of uplift of, we're both trying here, but ultimately it doesn't work. And you might be thinking, well, why doesn't it work? Well, it doesn't work because the two of you don't know how to do it better. If you knew how to do it better, you wouldn't be here, right? And so let's talk about trust. So when trust is low, the two of you become me. There's one me and two me's in the marriage. And when there's a me in the marriage, what we're really saying is that I'm looking after my space, so you look after yours. And when it's a me, I'm not really thinking or attuned to you because I need to make sure I'm okay because we're hurting each other. So I have to be able to defend myself against you at any given moment. And so when both of you are doing that, what happens is that when one of you says, oh, I remember how much I love my partner and I want to come closer, they come closer to try and do that. And the other one says, but you're going to hurt me again. I don't trust you. And so that trust attempt kind of falters or falls away. And when that falls away or falters and doesn't work, what we have then is a sense of, oh gosh, we really can't find each other, can we? And when you really can't find each other over a period of time, you start to say, well, maybe we're not supposed to be together. He hurts me. He breaks my heart. We can't agree on anything. I don't feel that safe around him. I feel like I have to defend myself all the time. I keep trying and he's not trying, or he keeps trying and I'm not trying. Or you're trying at different times and you never quite land at the same time. And so you start to make a conclusion or a story around this. And the story is, this doesn't work. He's not this. I'm not that. Our marriage isn't good enough. I wonder if someone else would take better care of me. I wonder if I would have a better life without him. Now, the typical thing around marriages and people thinking it's time to divorce is that it's because there's no options. And so talking today about how to rebuild trust means that you get hope, because hope is, the definition of hope is having more options. Knowing how to do something means that all of a sudden divorce being the only way out becomes the thing that's not true. All of a sudden it's like, there is another way. I get to keep my husband. I get to have a wonderful life. I get to be together with him, have him attuned with me and me with him, where we're a we, where it's us against the world. There is a way to do that. Even from here, where all this pain lives, where all this lack of trust lives, where this lack of commitment lives, I can really have that. This is the thing, my loves. You can. And if you're thinking divorce, if you're thinking this isn't working, if you're thinking separation, what you're looking for is a new way of doing it. You're not actually looking for a new husband necessarily. You're actually looking for a new way to do it. And looking to your community, looking to your family, looking to the people in your inner circle is not going to be the way that's going to get you there, my loves, because if they had what you needed, you wouldn't be here. Does that make sense? So let us talk into the detail of what trust looks like. Now, some of you, I'm just having a look here to see if any of you have left me any questions, because I don't want to go too fast without checking that out. But I really want you to watch my mastermind, wrong word. I really want you both, or all of you, to watch my training. I want you to watch my webinar training, and I'm going to get our beautiful Leilani to post that link in the comments. Okay, so I want you to do that, because that will tell you in detail how to do a kind of intervention in your marriage. So if you haven't watched that, now is the time to do that. So pop that in there, Leilani. Thank you, my love. And now let's talk about rebuilding trust. So trust is the sense which comes through observing actions, repeated actions, that I am safe with this person. I can bring them my good side, my not so good side. I can bring them trouble from outside the marriage. So my work problems, my social friend issues. I can bring them things that are hurting me. I can bring them loss, but I can also bring them happiness and shared experiences that mean that the two of us are living the life we've always dreamed of. So trust, what that looks like is kind of both ends. I can trust you when I'm sad, I can trust you when I'm happy, and I can trust you on the days where it's just kind of a normal everyday Monday. Yeah? And so that means that you're careful with my heart. It means that you make repairs with me quickly because you didn't mean to hurt me. It means that we can talk about the hard things. And it means that the two of us have our kind of arm around each other and it's us against the world. And so it's like we're sheltered under an umbrella together. Yeah? That's what trust looks like. So when trust has been eroded, it's usually because the two of you haven't been able to understand that you've missed reading each other's needs, or you've put your own needs ahead of somebody else. Now, I don't want to go down that path. That is a whole other Facebook Live. So let's stay on this very narrow path of what trust is. So what I want you to think about is, what is it that the two of you need, and how did you break each other's trust? And I want you to kind of pick out one or two or three things that resonate for the two of you. And I want you to think about, what was it that you wished had have happened instead of what did happen? And so if we use a scenario, it might be something like, I wished I had a really hard day at work, or I had a really hard day at home with the children. And when you came home, I wished that you had seen that I was upset and cared enough to do something different, cared enough to kind of rescue me, because I'm a strong, vibrant, amazing woman. But I wish that you had been attuned to me and said, you look like you need a 5-minute break, my love, but done it in a way that wasn't upsetting to me. And why don't you make yourself a cup of tea? And I'm just going to pick this up for a minute and give you a bit of a breather. Yeah. Instead, what happened? So that would have built trust, right? He sees me. He doesn't look down on me as not coping. He's supporting me and he's offering me something that feels good to me. So perhaps, unlike you, a cup of tea does wonders for me. Seriously. So that's like my thing. But your thing might look a bit different. So instead, what we're talking about is your husband coming in, noticing and attuning to where you are and saying, why don't you do that thing that you love? Might be a bubble bath, go for a walk, go to the gym, take the dog around the block. Any of those things, doesn't really matter. And so what would have happened to break that trust in this example is that your beautiful husband came home and didn't attune to you, perhaps had his own stuff on his own mind because he's had a big day and he's just walked in with that big day which hasn't been processed or dissolved yet. And perhaps the children or the animals kind of ran at him and everybody wanted his attention. And he saw that you were a little bit frazzled, but also he was like, oh, I'm a bit frazzled too. And perhaps he was a bit short with you, or perhaps he just didn't really notice you, or perhaps he kind of actually picked a fight with you. However the action or reaction happened, you felt alone and unseen and not noticed. And that broke your trust. And here's the flip side, so let's turn it around. Your husband walked through the door with a load on his shoulders, because the thing is, your husband is beautiful, right? So he would have, if he could have, done it differently to serve you, because you are the woman that he loves. You are his queen, yeah? But he didn't do it. And so what does that tell us? It tells us there's something on his shoulders. There's something that he's carrying, and he hadn't had a chance to put that down, catch his breath and tune into you. And so the two of you have missed each other. Is that because you don't love each other? No. Is that because either one of you are a terrible husband or wife? No. Is that because the two of you are busy working people who have a lot of responsibilities, because you're in midlife, and so we do have a lot of responsibilities, and you missed each other? Well, yeah, that's true. And here's the other thing. The other thing is, neither one of you have probably spelled out what it is you actually need during that time. And so the conversation between the two of you starts to center on, when we come home at night and I we walk through the door, let's give each other 10 minutes each to kind of find our feet, and then we'll come together. That could be one thing that works for you. Or it could be when you come in through the door, I need you to come straight into where I am, wrap your arms around me and hold me for 20 seconds. Because you know what, a 20-second hug is worth everything. And a 6-second kiss is the best kind of welcome kiss, let me tell you. So I want a 20-second hug and a 6-second kiss the minute you walk through the door. No kids first, just me first. Okay, so that could be what it is that you work towards. But what we're missing here is what do both of you need? And when you know what you need, then you can figure out what the recipe is, and then you can do that. Now, here's the other thing. Your job also, my beautiful women, is to be able to say ahead of time, gosh, this day has been really hard. I really would like it if my husband could come in the door tonight and take over so I can go and have a walk, a cup of tea, cup of coffee, go out with my friends, go around the block with the dog, whatever it is. Yeah. So you need to dial into you and call that out ahead of time, because when you can do those things, the trust doesn't get close to breaking. Does that make sense? And so we're looking to protect the trust. We're looking to do things and say things and have experiences which build the trust. And to do that, you have to know what it is you need, and you have to be able to have a conversation about how to be successful. That's really important. And so all of these things are all about trust. And remember, where trust abounds, love and connection flow easily. So if you're finding that the connection between you and your husband isn't flowing easily, where you accidentally miss each other, where you have kind of been going along two separate tracks for a while and there's a gap that's starting to show up for the two of you, what you need to be doing is looking back. That's my reminder. I was about to go and see my beautiful wise woman in my program. What I want you to remember is to come back to each other so that you can have a reconnection experience where you can remind each other that you can be trusted, where you can remind each other that life is good when you work as a team, where you're not two me's, you're a we, yeah? And so what I want for you is to remember that small actions every day make a huge difference in a marriage, particularly when we're talking about trust. So what small things can you do today that demonstrate to you, because you are also making a story up about whether you can or can't trust your marriage, right? What things can you do for yourself that show you that you can trust yourself and therefore you can trust your marriage? And what things can you do in your marriage that allow your marriage to show you that it can be trusted? And your husband, yeah, is part of the marriage, yeah? But the marriage is kind of a co-created entity in the middle. So what can you influence today to start to build that trust, to dial that in? It might be having a conversation. It might be working out what you actually need. It might be looking for the good. Sometimes we are so used to looking for what's not working, we forget to look for what is working. Now, my loves, let me have a quick look on here to see if there's any questions, because for some reason I can't see them here, but I feel like there would be some. So let me see if I can find where that is. Now, if you, no, I don't know, maybe it's down here. This is where I need Leilani. I might write down any questions here. Oh gosh, that didn't work. This is really not working. I shouldn't do this live. Any questions? Because I can't hear you guys. I see you, and I'm wondering if I put that down there, I might be able to see you. We might be having a bit of a tech issue. Okay, let me have a look at this. There you are. So Leilani has put the webinar link in there. I can see that now. And Leilani is also saying to me there are no questions. We've got beautiful Danette here though. Hello Danette. Hi Talia. Hi Leilani. It's really nice to see you all here today. Now, if you really need, if you're looking at this question of trust in your marriage and you really want to get clear around your specific circumstances and your specific experiences of trust in a marriage, because trust is one of the two pillars that if it's not working in a marriage, you're close to crisis, yeah? So if you want to be talking about this and you're ready to take the next step where you're really dialed in with certainty that you're going to have a different life and you want a different life, then we would love to talk with you to see if we can help. If we feel like we can't help, or we're not the right people to help you, we will point you in the direction of where you should be. So if you want to have a conversation with us about this, you can book a call with us by using the calendar link that Leilani will pop in there. And that calendar link gives you access to times that work for you and work for us. So you just find yourself a time that works, book it in, and we will be there. And we'll talk you through anything you want to talk about. So it could be around trust. It could be around betrayal or infidelity or addiction in a marriage. It could be around managing stepchildren, his, mine, and ours kind of thing. It could be anything. Anything that is not working, that you need some help with and you're ready to make a change in, we are here to help you. And so this call is free, no obligation. We're here to serve all of you. So if you want to, jump in and book a call with us. You'll see Leilani will post that very soon. All right, my loves, it's time for me to go. I have a call waiting for me with my beautiful wise woman. I love our community here. It's really nice to see everybody showing up and watching these videos. People are talking about them. People are messaging about us. People are coming on the calls with us to talk about them. So if you have a topic you want me to talk about, pop it in the comments here. Or there's a poll that Leilani set up from Tuesday last week or Monday last week. You're welcome to update that. We're watching that as well. So in a few hours' time, you'll see Leilani will post you an event for the next Q&A or the next live call that we've got, which is on Thursday night. So tune in for that one. You're going to love it. I won't give it away now. You go and have a look at what the topic is. You're going to think it's amazing. All right, my loves, have a wonderful day. It was lovely to see you today, and I'll see you soon. Bye, darlings.